when I was about 8 years old, I picked myself up without my parents knowing and went and registered myself in a Yiddish secular shule. At that time, the city, not only New York, but even Chicago, Detroit, Boston, Philadelphia, had secular shulas all over the lot. They were basically set up according to political orientation of the people who, just as the newspapers Jewish newspapers in New York, for example, where the far right was the Morgen Journal and the far left was the Morgen Freiheit, and in between was the Tag and the Vorwärts. So the shulas were also set up in that basis. The Workmen's Circle, the Arbeit Ring, formed the first fraternal organizations, mostly based upon where people came from, Landsmannschaften. So people of the same town could get together and talk about their memories. They also provided health care, and then decided that there was a need, in order for the culture to be maintained, there was a need for them to set up children's shulas, schools where children could learn Yiddish, could learn to read, could learn to write, could learn, get literature, music, etc., etc. And so New York especially, in the Bronx where I lived, was dotted with little shulas, storefronts, some rented rooms someplace. Normally there was one teacher for each of the shulas, and that teacher taught the first grade, the first hour, the second grade, the second hour, and so forth. And we went to shul 5 days a week. I can remember my first day when I went there and ran home excitedly with a sheet of paper where I'd written the word mama in Yiddish. And that was my beginning of my Yiddish education. That decision to register myself in the shule was by far the most important decision I ever made in my life. Now that sounds very strange, because obviously a lot of other things happened in my life. And I say that because after I graduated from the elementary school, after 4 years, I went on to what they call the Mittelschule, which is equivalent to junior high school or high school. And I married one of my classmates. So therefore, that decision led me to that point. So it's very important.